Okay, we're going to try this again. I think I'm up and running. I think I found out what the problem was. So we're going to try this again. We should be good to go. There we go. I am back. Hopefully you can hear me now. Okay, Betty. I got it, Betty. Cruising on the high seas. Rob, welcome in. Clock family, you can hear me now. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? To use my Sprint analogy. Thanks for coming back in. I appreciate it. I was got up this morning and looking at some of the people on the on chat on YouTube, and went by a few cruising channels, and man, just listening to them talk about cruising made me made me want to book a cruise. I know the Clock family. I mean, again, I guess tonight or tomorrow morning is going to be a big day. So, do I pull the trigger on that one? Let me see. Let me get this done right here, real quick. Embarkation Nation, welcome in, Trish. Hi. I haven't booked anything yet, Rob. I am looking. Scratching Pete. Thanks for coming in. I got excited, and I watch Cruising is Fun Anytime with Cheryl, and she's always looking at booking cruises and stuff like that, and it kind of got me thinking about booking a cruise. Yeah, no, I'm already on the booze cruise for this year. I haven't booked the secret booze cruise for next year, but I do plan on booking that. That should be a lot of fun. I wish I would have. I just got a notification. I guess Carnival's gonna have an earnings report coming out soon, and I wish when Carnival stock was about $5.56 a share. I wish I would have got it a few months ago. It's probably about last time I checked, and this was a few days ago. It was like $14 a share. So you could have, in a couple of months, you could have tripled your money. BNC Gardening, welcome in. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate you being here. I have to start looking at how to. Well, Mike, you know what? I want to. I do want to do new ships. Uh, what ship is going on sale tomorrow, Mike? Because you're going to try to book it tonight. Which ship is that? Utopia. Okay. I'm trying to decide. I have a good deal from Carnival for Venetia, like in January and February. Um, but I could take that money and put down on Utopia. And again, Utopia is a ship that people are going to want to see. I mean, for content and even for my own experience. I don't know. I'm torn. I'm torn. Sometimes you like that immediate satisfaction. So Utopia is a little ways away, but um, who knows? I need to get away. I need a vacation. Where can I go, people? I need to go someplace. Vegas, bright lights city gonna make it. I need to go to Vegas. I need to go somewhere. Alcatraz. I'm thought about Alcatraz. I went there one time, but it was, and I enjoyed it. I think I want to do like the night tour of Alcatraz. I think that would be spooky. I would imagine. See, Embarkation Nation, that's what I'm talking about, Andrew. Really, Clock family. I might meet you out there. I'm going on the booze cruise end of October. I might meet you out there. October. I might meet you out there. I wouldn't say for a week. My goodness, I don't think I've ever stayed in Vegas for a week. I think the most I've ever stayed in Vegas was probably 5 days, 4 or 5 days. And by the end of the 4 or 5 days, I was ready to come home. Z says, yeah, Vegas for my birthday, July 7th. Vegas can be hot in July. I used to go out there for my birthday, and Vegas can get hot. I call myself being smart one day and renting a convertible. It was so hot that the convertible couldn't even cool the car off because I could only drive it at night. And that's with the roof up, not even with the roof down. But it was like 95 degrees at midnight. It was hot. It was hot. But everything's air conditioning, so you have pools, and usually I don't get up in the mornings. October in Vegas is nice. Pools are still open. Everything's good. Nice temperature. Hot, but not too hot. Man, Clock family, when I grow up, I want to be like you guys. I want to be like you guys. I am going to have to Utopia. Let me write that down. Utopia, and that goes on sale tonight. It was Keisha. I ain't gonna lie, it was tough. You know how they say it was a dry heat. Yeah, an oven is dry heat. It was hot. I think the high it got that day it got up to 117 degrees. I mean, it was oppressive heat. Yeah, I mean, it was hot. But Vegas is a different town. Vegas is a town where, I mean, the action's at night usually. In a morning time, in the daytime, you're by the poolside and usually at your casino or at your hotel. But it's that heat. But at nighttime, now it starts to pick up. But for the last 20 years that I've been going to Vegas, they've always been doing work on the Strip as far as the traffic. I don't think I've ever seen the Strip where there wasn't construction on the Strip, on the street itself, not hotels around, but on the Strip itself, on the street. But Vegas, they really changed Vegas, and for me, it's not in a good sense. Because now, I mean, every resort on the Strip is like every hotel on the Strip now is like a mega resort. They all want to be mega resorts. They didn't have any small ones. Some of them are getting a little bit older, the Flamingo and things like that. But they just priced everything out so high on the Strip. So a lot of times when I go to Vegas now, I may visit the Strip once, but a lot of time I spend my time downtown, down in the Fremont Street area. Even though they're trying to build that up too, and it's getting crazy down there with just all the side shows Vegas is different. Or either Vegas is different or I'm just getting older. I mean, I can't even say. Maybe how back in my day. I don't know if it's often if that's is it me or is it actually Vegas? But Vegas used to be a fun town. You would go there and gamble a little bit, and here, you gambled a little bit here, have a free meal. Oh, here, Oh, you want a $9.99 steak dinner and all this other stuff? No problem. Come on down here. I think, hey, April Showers. Um, I think they found out they can make money off of shows and make money off of dinners and the link. I I forget what it used to be called before the link. I stayed there before it was the link. Yeah, I can't remember what it was called before the link, but I stayed there before the link. Great location. The hotel itself was but it was you couldn't beat the location. It was one of the best locations on the strip. My go-to hotel used to be Caesar's Palace, but that again, back in the day, you gambled a little bit here. We'll give these offers. Caesar's Entertainment, and I mean they would give you rooms and lunches or buffets and all the other good stuff. Um, it kind of changed. It kind of changed a little bit. Before I started cruising heavy, Vegas used to be my go-to. I used to go to Vegas, 4 times a year, 3 or 4 times a year. That might have been it. Imperial Palace. That might have been it. That sounds about right. I mean, we're going back some years now, but Imperial Palace. That sounds about right. Because they used, they had like Flamingo, Harrah's, Imperial Palace. Imperial Palace was like the cheap place to stay, but like right in the middle of the strip. It was, I mean, it was perfect, right across the street from Caesars, kitty corner to Bellagio. I think Bally's, they've changed that over to a horseshoe property now. It's been a while. I want to go out there. Man, you got me up here rubbing my hands. I gotta go. I gotta hit the Vegas. I don't know how it is now, but again, cars used to be so cheap to rent out in Vegas that I mean, even if I wasn't going any place but to one place, I would rent a car because it was cheaper to rent a car than to get like a taxi to your hotel. I paid more in fees than I paid more in fees than I did with the actual car rental. But then I found out about cruising, and guess what? They have gambling on the cruise ship, even though you don't drink for free. But luckily for me, I guess I gambled enough where usually when I book a cruise and I book it under a casino deal, I drink for free. So it's kind of like Vegas, kind of, sort of. But Vegas, I mean, bring me a double. I mean, they Vegas used to keep the liquor flowing. Matter of fact, I can remember going to April Showers. I finally made it to Vegas last year, and not a place I wouldn't care if I never went back. Yes, it's not for Vegas isn't for everybody, and it's I am having computer problems. Now I'm looking at my Wi-Fi. It says my connection is unstable, fairly good, and let me do a speed test real quick. I have Xfinity, and it should be the top of the line Xfinity. But yeah, no, Vegas has changed over the years, and see, that's what I'm talking about. I don't know what happened to my internet. I don't know how much you know about internet, but I have over 1,000 megabytes per second. So I mean, I shouldn't have any. Internet shouldn't be a problem here. Um, the hustle and bustle, the strip is so congested. They're trying to they're trying to alleviate some of the congestion with the bridges, but the bridges take away the view, because it used to be you drive down the strip and you can see the giant marquees of the big hotels. But now everyone has a giant marquee, so you know how they say you can't see the forest for the trees. Well, you can't. It could be, Betty. It could be, but you can't see the hotels and the marquees because you have one right in front of your face, so you can't see the next one. So it's not as pretty as it used to be. It's not as pretty as it used to be, and everybody's a hustler now in Vegas. I mean, you have the robots and stuff. Everybody wants to take a picture with you, and then you take a picture. Well, that's going to be $50. I'm not paying you $50 for a picture. Well, you took my picture. So you owe me. Hey, Kello, happy Juneteenth. Welcome in, my friend. It's just changed. Back in my day. Back in my day, the only thing you had to worry about were the porn slappers, where the guys be handing out, or guys and girls handing out the little cards. I don't know what it is, D. As far as I'm freezing, I did have a problem with the internet because it showed like I lost internet connection. But my speed is good, so it should be good. But now, I mean, there's just, I don't know, there's just so much going on the strip. That's why I go downtown. But downtown, again, you have like regular people, and when I say regular people, I mean people that probably shouldn't be gambling. But to me, it's a lot of fun. One of my favorite experiences was I was out there for fireworks on January 1st. I went out there for fireworks, and I just had a camera. I had a nice one of those like VHS cameras or whatever, and I was videotaping the fireworks. I probably still have the video somewhere around there. It wasn't digital, but it was a VHS camera. So the fireworks started going off, and then a fight broke out. It was in front of Caesar's Palace, and a fight broke out. So I had a choice to make. Do I videotape the fireworks or do I videotape the fight? Well, back then, my head wasn't on like, World Star and stuff like that. I was like, well, just videotape the fireworks. That's what you came out here for, videotape the fireworks. To this day, I wish I would have videotaped the fight. Let's see, got 10 people in here. Again, most of you I think I know, but if I don't know you, if you type #strong, that'll drop your link so other people in the chat can connect with you. So if you're new here, type #strong to drop your link. Whoops, I'll keep that showing. Put that up here. What else is going on? I got cruising, Carnival cruise news. What else is going on? Happy belated Father's Day to all the fathers out there. I went to a football game last night, Michigan Panthers, USFL. They won. If they won the game, they made it to the playoffs for next week. They won in a thrilling fashion. What a good night to be in downtown Detroit. Hopefully I can get that video up the next day or so. There's not going to be a banter with Bill Thursday, probably. I don't think so. I'm still not ready to make that grind, make that commitment yet. So eventually, hopefully I'll get back into that grind of videos on a regular basis and banter with Bill on a regular time. I did. I saw Karen had a great trip. Karen was so nice. I'm glad she had a great time. I wish I could have been here when she was here. Karen is a friend from YouTube that I met. She stays over in Australia, and when I went over there, she took me out to dinner, and I wish I could have returned the favor when she was here, but I think I was on my 29 days of cruising at the time. And Betty was talking about Heather. I don't remember when she said they were coming. There's some Heather, Come Hither with Heather and Werner supposed to be coming here uh, not too long from now. So that might be fun to meet them. But Betty, not Betty, yeah, Betty. Betty's gonna meet them down in Orlando, I think, and when they come. So that would be nice to fly down there, meet Betty, meet Heather. So that would be fun to do. I don't know. They might be the too big party animals for me. I'm a party watcher. I'm not a party animal. Used to be a party animal, but I'm a party watcher now. I like going to watch the parties. They're coming in August. Okay. I don't think I've seen the Graceland video. I've always wanted to go to Graceland. That would be nice. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at that. That'd be nice. So what else? What else is up with everybody else? Let's see. Uh, Cruising Utopia goes on sale tonight at midnight. I wonder if their servers are going to crash. It probably won't. It's not. It can't. It won't be that many people. It won't be that many people. I mean, it'll be a lot of people, but it won't be that many. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Thursday, August 20th to Tuesday, the 24th in Orlando. Did they ever decide whether or not, Betty, they were going to go to Disney World? I haven't been to Disney World in a little while. The last time I went to Disney World, I went down there for a day. And my son and I, we went down there for a day. I forget why we went down there, but anyway, we went down there for a day. And by the time I bought tickets, by the time I bought the Fast Pass or whatever it's called, it was I spent $600 on like just being in the park, Fast Pass, getting something to eat. I wound up spending it was $600, and it was like, this is crazy for like one day of just walking around a park. But I do want to do it again. The best time I ever had at Disney World was one time. My kids were small, and it had to be like, first grade, second grade, something like that. My wife and I, we took the kids out of school and went down to Disney World after school started. So September, maybe the second week of September, all the schools were back in, and the park was empty. It was like we're doing a pandemic time. The park was empty. As fast as I could walk through the turnstiles or the whatever the lane, I could get on a ride. So my daughter, who was 6 or 7, had no fear, and I didn't want to scare her too much. So I would get on a ride to see how scary it was, and then I would come back and decide whether or not I would let her go on the ride. I don't know if you remember the Tower of Terror. Tower of Terror was like a demon drop. For ride goes up, takes you off, drops you down, and I'm like, well, this will be the end of it. She'll be scared. Nope. She went down and she wanted to go on again, and she went down and did her hands up, and she was 7 years old maybe, and she was just so excited. The ride that scared her to death was, and I thought it was a nothing ride, it was Jaws. When they had Jaws, you rode around on a boat, and you had Jaws in the water, and that ride scared her. She was traumatized. And I thought I went on the ride first, and I thought this ride was nothing. But she was like, well, I shouldn't tell you. I probably shouldn't tell you. But anyway, she wanted to make sure that we got Jaws, And I told her, yeah, we got Jaws. You don't have to worry about Jaws. She was traumatized. And to this day, I think she still thinks about Jaws. Oh, hold on. Let's go back. I'm missing stuff out. Betty, it's expensive. Even the fast food places on the outside of the city is more expensive than a non-tourist town. Betty, you know what it is, and this is, I mean, again, talking about trips. The first time I took my kids to Disney World, I stayed on resort at the Polynesian Hotel, and that we're going back, let's say, 25 years. So 25 years ago, I stayed down there for a week. It was $300 a night. The family stayed down there for a week just for the hotel. We didn't rent a car. Everything we did was Disney. Every meal we ate was Disney. Everything. I don't know how much money I spent. And this is going back 25 years. So $300 a night now probably doesn't sound that much. $300 a night back then was a lot of money. And my kids had a good time. You had the monorail station, and it was easy to get around. The next year or the following year, we went back. But again, I didn't do that. I stayed at the Holiday Inn Sunspree, which is just outside the park. It was maybe $60 a night, $70 a night. And they had a little room set up, and it was divided. So the kids had like their own little section with a video game. That's the trip they talk about. That's where they want to go back to, the $60 a night, not the $300 a night hotel with the beach. They want to go back to this hotel with the video games and the Nickelodeon stuff around. That's where they want to go. So back then, it's kind of, I realized it doesn't matter how much you pay for a room. It's how much you enjoy the room. Betty was talking about Four Seasons. Four Seasons is different. I mean, again, $3,000 a night is a little extreme, Betty. Four Seasons is a different. I stayed at Four Seasons in Vegas, and it was an incredible experience. I mean, I literally would walk out my room, no phone calls being made or anything like that. I would walk out my room. By the time I walked down to get my car from valet, they had already pulled my car up. To this day, I don't know how they did it. And they did it on a regular basis. And, good evening, Mr. Armstrong. How do you even know who I am? I was amazed. The service I got at Four Seasons was compared to no other hotel I've ever stayed at. It was like no comparison, none. So when people tell me about Four Seasons, I'm like, yeah, that's a good place. If you have Four Seasons, I'm saying if I can afford it. Okay, I'm just going back to the chat. I was missing some stuff. What is your favorite park in Florida and why? I'm not a big ride person. I like Universal and Disney World. I mean, I like them both. Universal at one time seemed like it was a little cheaper and had decent rides, and I liked some of the rides better because they did more movie themed rides than Disney did Disney rides. But I enjoyed them both. But Universal, you can't go wrong with Universal City or Universal Studios. This is the one I want to talk about. Keisha booked a group cruise on Carnival Venezia for July of 2024. I may look into that one. I got to look at that ship because, again, I felt cheated. I went on Luminosa, which was like the first ship Carnival got from Costa, and the Italian theme, and I was disappointed because it wasn't theme. They just did the what's the one that just Venezia, and it looked like a totally different ship. I mean, there was no comparison between the ship I was on and that ship. And I'm thinking about booking that one in January of next year. I'm gonna look at some of the prices to see, but Firenze, it looks like it's going to be like the Venezia, and it looks like it should be a nice ship with the Italian theme. So I think, hey, Mountain of Inspiration, welcome in. I will look there, but yes, that's good, and I'll take a look at that since you're going to be there. Remember Jaws? Jaws. That ride was not scary. I'm telling you, it wasn't scary. I went on it. It wasn't scary. Mm. And then she got on it and she was petrified. And every other ride, I mean, my daughter, she was always like a thrill seeker. She did those rides on top of the Stratosphere out in Vegas, the one that dips off and it's like you're on a car and it dips off the side, the demon drop and all the she did all those rides. I did the roller coaster and I did the demon drop on it, but I couldn't do the one that went off the side of the building. But she did them all. She had no fear. It still has no fear. Not like me. Well, if she has fear, she overcame it. Really? Well, again, maybe it's just me because I thought it was just corny. Exploring with Eric. Welcome in, by the way. Exploring with Eric. I appreciate you being here. I did not think it was scary at all. Charlene Phelps, thanks for coming in from Indianapolis, Indiana. Every time I say Indianapolis, Charlene, I had season tickets to the Lions. And this is going back some years. I've been a big Lions fan my whole life. And my son, I mean, he was raised up going to Lions games. I mean, I would, always have 2 seats, 3 seats, and we would go to every Lions game. And my son was a big Lions fan with me. We played Indianapolis Colts one day, and you had Andrew Luck. This is how long ago this was. You had Andrew Luck as your quarterback, and you came up here, and Andrew Luck, y'all came back and beat the Lions in a game and ripped the heart out of my son. He has not been a Lions fan since, and this is going back, 10 years. And every time I think of Indianapolis, that's what I think of when I think of Indianapolis. How Indianapolis ripped the heart of my son out the Lions. Anywho, but Indianapolis is a nice city. See, I don't like roller coaster rides and stuff like that, Andrew. I mean, again, I went down there. There's a lot of those rides, especially like in Universal. They really have like real roller coasters. They have I mean, Disney doesn't have real roller coasters. They have like mini roller coasters, stuff you would find at Chuck E. Cheese or something. But Universal had like real roller coasters. Let's see. Everybody saying hi. 3K. Can you? Betty was talking about 4 seasons in Maui. I think it was Maui, Hawaii. 3K a night. And I think the size of the room was 600 square feet is what she was saying. Again, I would have to look at it and see. 3K a night is excessive. I would have to look at the property and see what's going on. It looked excessive, but you will never have better service from a hotel than a Four Seasons hotel. I don't believe so. I haven't seen it. Z, breaking news: a tourist sub is missing off the wreckage of the Titanic. Uh-oh. Probably like an excursion, maybe is what you're talking about. Maybe, I don't know. I haven't heard anything about that. That wouldn't be good. That would not be good. Go Colts. You killed my son's spirit. To this day, he does not like the Lions. I mean, he doesn't hate the Lions. He's not invested in the Lions. I don't think he ever went back with me to another Lions game. Now we did go. He had fun last night. We went to the USFL, Michigan Panthers. They play at Ford Field, so we went there last night, and we had a decent time. We had some people around us. It was like a family, and they weren't even watching the game. They were just talking and just being annoying. But the Argonauts. Now we're talking Canadian Football League. I remember when I was growing up, I used to love watching the Canadian Football League. The rules were always a little strange, watching the runners run towards the line of scrimmage at full speed. But okay, let me get back to Keisha. Yeah, Keisha, I think I'm gonna I think I'm gonna look into that because I was thinking about that, this time. And you said you booked it already. Let me see new comments. Let me go down here. New comments. Well, and believe it or not, again, that's why the older I get, the scarier I get. I think. I can't swim. I don't like being underwater. I don't like being underwater like that. Just for that reason, things can go wrong. Even like walking across bridges and the such. I get a really uneasy feeling. Even when I get like in my cabin on a cruise ship, if I get a balcony, I don't lean on the rails because I know, oh, they're sturdy, but what if it's not? And again, like someplace you'll go like mountains and stuff, and they have like these rails, and if you fall off, you're dead. And it's like, but what if? What if it's weak? What if it's this? What if it's that? And I don't do it. I know that's maybe a tough way to travel. Well, Keisha, and let me hold on one second. Yeah, I read about okay, Titanic or something. I don't know we're talking about. Oh, no, Rob, no, we're talking NFL. The Meta and I group cruise booked outside, and that's one reason why normally I don't book. Hey, Bamanola, I don't book group cruises with groups a lot of times because I can get a better deal, especially if it's Carnival ship. I can usually get a better deal, and I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time with the group anyway. So I do. I usually, if I get a good deal, I talk to the people, and again, I understand they're going to have events just for the group, which I understand. It's like I'm not invited. I got you, but again, I just want to say hi and meet the people anyway. Um, I mean, they can keep the swag bag if they want, but anywho, Cruising Capers. Good afternoon. Just dropping in. Appreciate you stopping in. Thank you so much. We're just talking about some different cruising and Disney and all kind of rides and trips and all this other kind of stuff. Cruising Capers. But anyway, so if I can get a better deal, I'll book my own and just meet the people on my own. And that's what I would look at on that cruise. Since it's a Carnival cruise, I would probably look to see to get a deal. But again, all I want to do is like meet some people, meet them, and say hey, hi, whatever. I don't necessarily need to travel around in that group. Where's that cruise going out of, Keisha? Kal-El, ever think about making a documentary of all your tips or trips? That's kind of how I got started doing vlogs and doing YouTube last year. Was sharing my trips with my family and even myself. Uh, I would have all these pictures and different videos, but you know how you would have a camera or a phone and take pictures and do this, and then you switch phones, and now those videos are gone someplace else, or you move them to an SD card and you put the SD card in a drawer, and you never go back and look at the pictures. I came up with the ideal of doing putting videos on YouTube so my kids and other people and myself can go back and look at the trips. And that's how I started YouTube. So that's kind of what I do. I put them out there, and I try to put them out there where other people can watch them and enjoy them too. So in other words, if you watch any of my videos, you won't see me like just focusing in on usually on just like me or my family. My videos kind of focus on where I'm at. And people say, well, you know, people like interaction. So that, you know, people want to see my face. You know, I'm walking around a cruise ship. Instead of showing people having fun on a cruise ship, a lot of people want to see me walking around with the camera in my face, talking about what I'm seeing, a quick view of what's going on, and then back to me. And that's where if you look at a lot of YouTube videos, that's the way they go. But again, mine are more for people to look at and see if it's someplace they want to go, or just see what I've been doing. So anyway, that's how I started, so I could share my trips with people. Bam Manolo just finished recording my video for today in 101-degree heat. You're a better person than I am, Bam Manolo. Let me put this banner up here, show this. And for those of you that are new to the group or new to the chat, my name is Bill. And a lot of people in here are cruisers, so that's what we're talking about, cruising a lot, but travel in general. But feel free to drop your link. I have Nightbot, so if you type #strong, it'll drop your channel name so people can connect with your channel, come see your content to see whether or not they want to connect with your channel. Yeah, and see, and I'm the same way, Cruising Capers. I like seeing, like, you know, what the ports have to offer, and do I want to go to that port? I really don't. And again, it's me, but again, I don't need to see, you know, you're fit for the day. I don't need to see, I don't need to see you what I don't need to watch you eat your food. I mean, I appreciate you telling me about the food, but I don't need to see you watch you eat the food. And you know, doing the wobble with the camera, and the camera is just bouncing around, and I don't. First of all, I get motion sickness like that, so I can't watch it for too long. Oh, Keisha has a little garden. My mom used to do that when I was growing up. I mean, she always had a garden. I'd always loved that. I'm surprised I never got involved. I have like I don't have green thumbs. If I plant it, it dies. I have Kal-El. I have been to Rome. I only went for a few days. I enjoyed it. I like history, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the Colosseum. It was one of my worst. I shouldn't say worst. It was one of the hardest ones to get around because of the limited number of people that spoke English. And again, I'm in Italy, so it's not on them; it's on me. But it was one of the worst ones to get around because when I went to Spain, a lot of people spoke English. I went to France, a lot of people spoke English. Hey, Mike and Rihanna, welcome in. So Italy was one of the, and I did stay a little further out from the main city, so that could have had something to do with it. But it was tough to get around, and once you start getting around, once you started understanding things, it made it easier. So would I go back? Yes, I'll go back because I love the history. Cruising Capers, okay, just started their channel. So okay, everybody, Cruising Capers, yeah, you did it. Perfect. Hold on. Nope. Cruising Capers, you type strong with an M. It's an N, strong, as in Armstrong or Warmstrong. So if you type #strong, people can go, you know, check out some of your content. Hopefully you have content. I haven't been to your channel yet, but hopefully you have content that they can check out, and you can check out their channels also. Not everybody here is a cruiser. I mean, Trish the Natural, she does hair. She does amazing things with hair. Dee Newman, she lives in Australia. She's always she's always getting around to everybody and visiting. She has a garden too. It's winter. It's becoming wintertime over there, so yeah, it's not the garden season over there now. But a lot of good channels on here. Mike and Rihanna, they're up in Canada, eh? So yeah, a lot of stuff. Bamanola, he does lawn care, and I watch a lot of lawn care videos. Bamanola. You know what I watch a lot of lawn care. A lot of these, there's a lot of channels out there where they go like to these overrun properties, and then they bring them back. And I really like those videos for some reason, for some odd reason. I watch them all the way through. Kal-El. I've never been to Israel, and I have to do a little more research as far as when you start dealing with the Middle East. You have to be again, and this is what I've been told, not necessarily what's true. So I haven't done the research on it, so I don't know. But when you start having a passport and it's stamped in certain countries, and other countries don't like that country, they can you're put like I don't want to say on a watch list, but again, they might scrutinize you a little more. And I don't want to be in these foreign countries and like all of a sudden I'm an enemy of the state. So I always, even like with the United States, I try to explain to people. I don't, when I go to these other countries and these Caribbean countries and things like that, I don't wear, USA, USA. I don't wear the flag draped all over me. First of all, we're in other countries, and the United States hasn't been very kind to a lot of different countries. So just because we love the United States here doesn't mean that every other country that you go to loves the United States. So, with that being said, I'd have to I'd have to look into Israel because I do want to, like Egypt and the Middle East. I'd love to. I really want. I want to do a Nile River cruise. Cal, I don't feel I've ever been discriminated against. In every place I went, I didn't. Let me go back. Let me think. I don't remember ever being discriminated against that I know of. I mean, people may not have liked me, but I was never disrespected. I was never. I've never been disrespected. I've never had any kind of discrimination. I've had more discrimination here in United States than I did in any other country I've ever been in. I was fearful of Australia, but Australia, they actually have true conversations about like race and things like that, which I really appreciated. And I was treated very well in Australia. But I was a little leery in the beginning because if you look at the history of Australia and how it was formed and the different things, and I was a little leery about that. And I was treated very well and saw at the time no signs of discrimination. They had it in the past. I've had more discrimination here in the States, and it's not even close. But again, Australia, they talk about what happened. United States, they want to hide what happened. So. Have you been to Canada? I live in Detroit. Fun fact: Detroit is the only place in the United States that you have to drive south to go to Canada. So I drive south to go to Canada. I do. I drive. It's easier for me to drive through Canada to get to Niagara Falls than to go around like Lake Erie. So if I'm going like Niagara Falls area, I drive through Canada, like the 401. I drive through Canada. They used to have a couple of hotels I used to go stay at, and they had like water parks and things like that in Canada. Toronto, maybe, I don't know, maybe Toronto might be 4 or 5 hours away. That's not too far away. Oh yeah, okay, Kal-El. Yeah, and again, you have to think about that. and going to the Middle East, being from the United States. I mean, again, I'd be very careful, and that's the thing that has kept me from going. Mostly, it is just dealing with you know certain things. Yeah, if you ever look at a map, you'll see how Detroit it kind of wraps around Detroit area. So we have to go south to hit Canada. But yeah, everything else is up north. Every place else you would go north to get to Canada. Yeah, no, I loved I loved Australia and how easy it was to get around and how helpful people were. And I mean, again, I've been blessed. I've heard people with horror stories about traveling, and I've traveled a lot, and I've never had a problem. The biggest problem I had was in Rome, trying to get to the Colosseum, and they I was talking to the cab driver, and I was saying going to the Colosseum. They couldn't understand me, and then he said, "Oh, Coliseum," and to me, I couldn't have been the first tourist he picked up. So yeah, Coliseum for Rome. If you ever go to Rome and want to go to the Colosseum, say Coliseum, and they'll take you. Pier runners, welcome in the house. And you know what I found, like with a lot of countries, when you start going to these other countries, and the United States used to be really, I mean, again, that was the whole thing. This is a melting pot. When you go to other countries, the look of the people are the same. I mean, you go to all these other different countries, the African countries, the Asian countries. You go to Russia. All the citizens look alike. And over here, I mean, I'm so used to the United States where you can look like anything and be American. And we go to these other countries, so you kind of stand out because you don't look like them, and which is amazing. Again, I never ran into any kind of racism, but it's just unique how if you look at like the North Korean army, everybody in that army looks alike. You go to a lot of these countries, the Rush, they all look alike. And when I say look alike, I mean not like exactly alike, but they all have the basic features. And that coming from the United States, that's amazing to me that there's no diversity. It was. I'm sorry. I guess I should read what I'm reading. Australia looks so clean and beautiful. It is. It is. And just some beautiful countryside. Again, I didn't spend much time over there, and I want to go to New Zealand. I want to do New Zealand, and it's a shame that I didn't go over there and go a few days early and actually spend some time over there and go to New Zealand, go further out into Australia. But again, I love travel. I want to look at. I'm talking about going to Utopia tonight, and then I want to do a cruise to Norway. I'm gonna try to find a decent price for a cruise to Norway. The world is so big and so little time and so little money. It's so many places I want to go. The Nile River, though, the Nile River is one that's on my bucket list. Again, Middle East. I would prefer to go like with maybe a small group of people, but I do. I want to see the pyramid. I want to go to Cairo and see the pyramids and the Sphinx and all that good stuff. And I want to do it now while I still have, my health. Exactly, Keisha. But it does, and people again. I'm less offended when I go to another country and people are looking at you. I'm less offended because they truly have not seen anybody like you before in person. You know, they haven't seen anybody like you in person. You know, a lot of people haven't seen. I can remember I was in I was in China, Beijing, and I went to a market because you know, you get a lot of quality stuff, name stuff over there in Beijing. Anywho, I was in there shopping, and it was me and my son. And again, we're light skinned, we're not dark skinned, anything like that. But again, me being heavy set, it was unusual to them because I mean, most of them were smaller people, and I was shopping, and the girl, and it wasn't in a mean way, but it was like, you know, why are you so fat? And I'm up here, me and my son, we're laughing, and it's like, um, I just, you know, just eat good. And we're talking a little bit, the broken English, and I don't know, I didn't know Chinese, so we're going back and forth, and you know, they have clothes there, and then they go to size, and it's like, oh, here's an extra large. I couldn't get that on my arm, extra large, you know. That, I mean, it's funny how different countries are, and how the people are. But again, as I said, I, everybody that I've always run into, always been very helpful, very understanding. They may have questions about the United States. If you ever go to Australia, Australia thinks you're going to be murdered on your street corner. I mean, I mean, just because they hear so many murders in the United States, they literally think that. I mean, if you walk out the door, it's kind of the way, you know, you guys think about Detroit. You know, you say Detroit, and people, oh boy, how tough the streets are in Detroit. Yeah, you got rough neighborhoods in Detroit. Most of us don't go to those rough neighborhoods. It's just like any place else. You go to these other cities, you don't go to the rough spots of the city. You go to the good spots of the cities. I've been down to, you know, Orlando and all the other places. Yeah, let's go to Orange Blossom Trail. For those of you from the Orlando area, there's tough spots everywhere, and in Detroit, there's tough spots. But again, I never had problems any place I went, and you know, again, I'm from Detroit, born and raised, 60, never been robbed, never been shot at, none of that, you know. Have I seen some things? I sure have, but I've seen things in Vegas. I've seen things in New York. I've seen things in Chicago. I've seen things, I mean, you know, all over. And I mean, you know, you talk about some of the things. I've been, you know, good old America. I've been to some of these cities, and been told to get out of town. You know, so again, I mean, people tell me, they can tell me all they want about all this other crime and all this other stuff in other countries. Nah, I've seen a ton more here. I've seen a ton more here. Even like going to these Caribbean islands, you got to be smart. I mean, again, you have to be smart. So you don't, you know, go off too far off the beaten path and all this other stuff, and follow people, and try to do, you know, illegal things, and I never had a problem. The problem you have with like a lot of these tourist places is people trying to scam you. You know, you'll have people, you'll have cab drivers, you know, trying to upcharge you, or things like that, or somebody trying to sell you Cuban cigars, and they know good and well they're not Cuban cigars. So you got to worry more about scams, and you know, if you go to European nations, and they have the trains and stuff like that, you have to worry about like pickpockets. But in the United States, I mean, you got the violent crime over here in the United States. But in Australia, they think, I mean, when you ever talk to people, they think you're going to be murdered on the next corner. But that's what we know. You know, we love our guns over here. Trish, I know I'm missing a lot of things in the chat. Trish, yeah, and again, I guess I've kind of always been like that, Trish. Again, you know, I'm meeting people, and going out and talking to people, and it's always been like a lot of fun. Like in my husband's West African country, you can only become a citizen if your father is at least a second generation citizen. Yeah. And again, it makes sense. But being from the United States, we don't understand. Well, I don't understand that. But being from the United States, I think everybody could be a citizen. Everybody could be. But you go to a lot of these other countries, you can't buy property unless you're a citizen. You can't, there's so many things that you can't do that we can do here in this country. You can never be a citizen. Yeah. And it's like that a lot of places around the world, and we take it for granted here. We take it for granted here of the blessing that we have to have. I mean, and to me, it should be a blessing having all these different cultures come together. I mean, we should be learning from each other instead of like trying to isolate people and hate this this person because they're from here or that country. And again, it's just, I don't know. It's sad. It's sad to me at times. Controversial Cruising, welcome in. I'm trying to catch them on the chat in case people are just coming in. I appreciate you coming in. Good morning. Well, it's good afternoon now. We're gonna go. I snuck it in. I snuck in this morning chat a little before the noon hour hit. So I appreciate you being here, Scott. I appreciate it. But there's a lot of places. I live in Michigan. I've never been to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. All my traveling, I've never gone to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, which I hear is beautiful. I mean, I see pictures and I hear stories. I hear it's wonderful up there. Even Michigan, people here in Michigan and they think Detroit. I don't know. I don't know if everybody's ever looked at a map of Michigan and looked at our waterfronts and the beaches. The only problem you have with Michigan and water is that because we're so far up north, the water is cold. So if you don't like cold water, yeah, it's not the best swimming. But our beach lines are comparable to anybody. I mean, we're literally a mitten, and all around here is water. And when you people run out of all that fresh water from wherever you're at, you're gonna wish you moved to Michigan. I'm sorry. That's further down the road. Pedroza, I don't know if I spoke. Pedroza, welcome in. And again, for people that are new here, I kind of rant sometimes and I ramble. Let's get ready to ramble. I kind of ramble sometimes, so you hear me just talking. I just talk. I'm not totally crazy. I'm crazy, but I'm not totally crazy. Not yet, at least. I'm getting there. As I said, I really came on here because I was looking at some shows earlier. JNS Adventures, Eddie Lugo, the Mustard Drill, they have a show, and then you have Z's cruise show, and they talk cruising. I like talking cruising. Why is my phone going off? I love cruising. I love talking cruising. There, have you heard? Heard about this? As a matter of fact, they probably started controversial cruising. Scott, I've heard. I have not seen the menu yet, but I heard like June 17th they were supposed to start on the Dream as far as testing the new menu. And all I can say is it's about time. I was so tired of. It's good rambling. I was getting so tired of the menu. And on the older ships, with the newer ships, you have more options. You have more food options. The older ships, you don't have that many options. So the main dining room is where you go for your good food. And they really ran the same playlist as far as food and menus for the longest. And if you cruise a lot on Carnival, which is what I do. I mean, you run into the same menu. It's like you could tell the second night is going to be elegant night. You're going to have lobster tail and prime rib. I mean, every night. I mean, you can almost just tell you what you're going to have on those different nights. The first night you're going to have the roast. I mean, it's you can almost tell. So it was time for them to change the menu. I have not seen the menu yet. Mike and Rihanna says the menu looks interesting, and I'm good with Eddie. Did I think I said Eddie? Yo! Eddie's in the house. I was just talking. If I didn't say your name, I was just talking about you. You probably talked you up about having a morning show and looking at your shows in the morning as far as talking about cruising. And it's like that's why I came on, because I'm trying to decide. I need people to talk me off the edge. Clock is talking about Utopia at midnight, and Keisha's talking about Firenze and 24. And I need a cruise. I need a cruise. But I need to pay. I have 3 cruises booked now that I haven't even paid off yet. It's coming up. I think the Booze Cruise has to be paid off by the end of next month, which I'm looking forward to the Booze Cruise. Even though it's an older ship, Glory, I believe. Older Carnival ship, which we know what that means. But there's a lot of good people going on that cruise, and I want to meet them. I want to meet them and at least say hi. See if they're as crazy in person as they are on YouTube. Carnival Glory, yep. And it's funny because these cruise ships go to the Caribbean. I don't even look at the ports. Only ports in the Caribbean that I want to go to are ABC Islands. And I did Aruba, Bonaire. I had a rain out, and Curacao. They changed the port, so I didn't make it there. So I still want to do the ABC Islands. But other than that, all the ports, they're all the same to me. So when I book a cruise, the Carnival Glory, I don't know what ports they're going to. Montego Bay, I think, or someplace. I don't know. I'm going on the Jubilee in December out of Galveston. I have no idea where we're going. But it's a new ship, and there will be some people on that ship that I want to meet. And a few people I want to meet on the ship and tell a thing or two. So if you see me booking a cruise on Carnival, usually I'm booking it for the people or somebody that I'm going with wants to go there. Eddie says Montego Bay, Grand Cayman, and Cozumel. I've been to all those ports. It's been a while. I haven't been on. I looked it up. I looked it up yesterday or the day before. I haven't been on the Carnival Glory since I want to say it was 2007. 2007 or 2009, maybe. That was the last time I was ever on the Carnival Glory. It's been a long while. I'm assuming it's been renovated since then. I'm assuming. I just missed somebody coming in. And Denny Gymnastics, welcome in. I was watching the gymnastics show you guys doing a gymnastics or not gymnastics. It's like aerobics. I was watching your class doing aerobics the other day. But yeah, I the pier runners. I believe I'm pretty sure. Again, I talked to so many different people, and we talk about so many different cruises, and my memory is not what it used to be. Pier runners, I believe they're going to be on the Jubilee in December. So I'm looking forward to meeting them. And my understanding is the Jubilee, the inaugural sailing is going to be the best cruise ever. And then somebody else, Mike and Rihanna, the NC Encore, That's going to be Embarkation Nation. That's going to be, if I do Alaska again, that's going to be my next. That's going to be my next cruise. Is the Encore in July 2025. I say that unless Carnival gives me some kind of crazy deal. But that would be the next time I probably will do Alaska. Even though I love Alaska, it can be a very expensive cruise. I mean, it doesn't have to be, but when you go, if you want to do excursions, it can be very, very expensive. Worth it, but very expensive. And truly, when I go on a cruise, a lot of times, especially like to the Caribbean, I want to get away. It's getting colder here. I'm from Michigan, so in the north, in the wintertime, it starts to get cold in December and October, November. It starts to get cold here, so I want to go someplace warm. I want to go someplace with a nice beach, a place to grab a beer, and relax and enjoy myself. So a lot of times that's how I book my cruises, and Carnival gives me a good price to do that, which I enjoy. And again, if you're new here, type #strong to drop your link. That way other people here can connect with your channel, hopefully watch some videos and fall in love with your channel. There's a few channels I've fallen in love with. But because I like the person, I like the personality of that channel, which is probably what people talk about when they talk about me. They like, you guys are here right now. 14 people are here right now. Listen to me just talk and rant and rave and ramble. I probably should put more of this like in video form when I do my videos. It's just, I don't, it's easier for me to do it live like this than in a video form. And again, even like on doing a cruising, it's tough. I'm kind of an introvert, so it's tough to have a camera in my face talking with other people while around watching me talk. Everybody doesn't like vloggers. Oh, see, MSC Seascape, that's a good one. I kind of want to do that. I've never been on an MSC cruise before. I see. There's a lot of cruise ships out here. Oh, these newer cruise ships are amazing. These newer cruise ships they're just becoming amazing. And that's what I like about it, because the cruise ships themselves have become the destination. If you guys have not checked out Embarkation Nation, check out. If again, everybody doesn't like family cruises, and I get that. But see, I like family cruising because, well, that's what I've done my whole life. Me and my kids, and now I'm able to get out there with my kids and grandkids, and I love family cruising. When I look at Embarkation Nation, it reminds me of me back in the day. Back in the day when I had their daughter Chloe and Chloe, and when I had my kids, I wasn't able to get the footage, the films. I mean, cameras weren't out like that. We swam with the dolphin. Well, no, had an interaction with the dolphins because I can't swim really. So, but had kissing the dolphins and things like that. And I wish I would have had the cameras that people have now and been able to videotape all of that, and be able to share that with them, and they could share that with their daughter. Like now we went on a cruise with my granddaughter, and you got good footage and her playing and swimming in the water, and it's like I can remember those days with my kids. I just don't have the pictures for it. So anyway, I say that to say, when I look at Embarkation Nation, I like the family cruising, and even though I don't have the small kids like that now with my granddaughter, but again, now with grandkids, it's not the same. It's like Oh, Ava, let's play. Yeah, go back to your mother. Yeah, go back to your father. But it's good to see. It's good to see families enjoying themselves. And again, I understand a lot of people don't like kids on the cruises because they're there on their vacation. They worked all year and they saved up for a vacation, so they don't want to hear these kids um, yelling and screaming. I was like that last night. I went to a football game last night, and we were talking about the people around me. There were a lot of families and a lot of younger kids. But see, I went there to watch the football game. They weren't watching the football game. They're yelling and screaming and talking about whatever else is going on. And it was WWE night for those of you like WWE. Uh, what was Big E was there along with New Day, and I got a couple pictures of them. I'm gonna post it. But again, they were there, so you got all these young kids, and they're all uh, trying to see Big E and New Day, and not watching the game. It's like, can you get out my way? I'm trying to see the game, and it was a good game. So I understand cruising with kids is not for everybody, but it's a lot of fun. If you like kids, it's a lot of fun. And that's what I love about these like newer ships. They have like a lot of kids areas where the kids can be separate from the adults. So, anywho, that's rambling about that. Um, what else? What else is going on in the cruise world? We talked about Carnival stock report. That's supposed our revenue report, I believe. It's supposed to be coming out, so that could raise the stock prices up a little bit. Last time I checked, it was about $14. Oh, see again. I understand. I do understand, but that's what they make the day clubs for. I mean, the kids care for. That's what they make them for. I did that. Even Disney World, they had childcare, and I forget the name of the fairy godmothers. Fairy, I forget the name of it, but we actually got um, somebody to come, came to your hotel room and watch the kids. So that way we can go out and we did. They used to do, I think it was called Pleasure Island. They used to do like New Year's Eve every night. So you go there, celebrate New Year's Eve every night, and go there. Have your drinks and being adults, stagger back to your room, and hopefully the kids don't wake up too early in the morning. But no, I totally understand that. But again, um, I just enjoy being around like the families and seeing them have, and not again, have some control over your kids. I get it. Don't be in a restaurant throwing food. But I mean, again, it is what it is. There's if you're at a show like one of the performances or whatever, and the kid is crying, yeah, you probably want to step outside. I understand that too. I don't want to disturb anybody. If you have an infant, a baby, and you're at dinner and the baby's crying and won't shut up, but dinner might be over for you. I mean, that's what it used to be for me. If something like that happened to me, I excused ourselves and we left. Luckily for me, my kids were well behaved, and that happened very rarely where we had to leave because the kids were being bad. But again, you also have to know, you don't take a kid that's overly tired someplace. You don't take a kid that just woke up someplace. I mean, you have to learn how to handle kids. Let's see. Let me hide that comment. I'm still trying to get. I have to learn how to share things on here. I used to use another streaming software, but I went to StreamYard. I got a good price on StreamYard, so I'm at StreamYard now, and I have to learn how to share things. And if I down, oh, hold on, it's probably the same way. Okay, Probably share a file. Gotcha. I just how to share things and how to, if I download files and things I want to share. I noticed my screen went dark for a second. I'm trying to see why. Anywho, how to share screens, and I noticed some people, Eddie and them, I think they have like an intro and an outro. So maybe I'll start, doing those intros and outros to make it look a little more professional, to make it seem just a little more professional. And I know you have layers where you can layer things onto your screen, which I just never spent too much time doing it on this software. So anybody else? Okay, I'm in a cruise mood. Anybody else got any cruises coming up, or any ship I should go on? And if you have a ship, tell me why I should go on that ship. If I could afford it, I would love to go on a Disney cruise. Keisha, thank you for stopping in, my friend. I would love to go on a Disney cruise. I like Marvel, and they had like a performance with Marvel. And I mean, when I look at a Disney cruise, oh, thank you, Yansu. I appreciate that. I don't have any good stuff. I don't have any good like cheers and claps. Yay, Yansu. I don't have anything. I used to on my other one, but I don't have it on this one. But I appreciate it. Thank you so much. You never know, Scott. You never know. I might. You might see me on the Valor, especially if Carnival. July 5th, they come out with new deals. And the first thing that I'm going to look for is extended cruises. They call them Carnival Journeys. Usually they're like 14, 16, 18, 21, 31 days. They're called Carnival Journeys. And I always look for deals on those type of ships first. And then I go through and look at like which ships, like Valor. I'm trying to think. Valor, I think, used to be called something else. I think they changed the name. I have to look into that. But again, I wouldn't mind going on that ship to meet friends. And Valor, I think Valor goes out of, is it New Orleans, maybe? Tampa? New Orleans. Somewhere down there. But again, you never know. You never know, especially if Carnival was still giving out the deals that they were giving out before. I don't get as much onboard credit. I've used up the last two, the Booze Cruise and the Jubilee in December. I was able to get $500 onboard credit, and those are like some of the last ones that I had that much onboard credit. Onboard credit is great, especially if you drink in a casino for free, which what those offers. So it's like I'm not spending a lot of money on liquor, so I just have money to buy excursions, or I don't buy souvenirs either. I guess it gives me more gambling money. There you go, more gambling money. Yeah, Eddie, I have to come up with something. People give super chats. I have to come up with something. Betty, thanks for coming in. I appreciate it. Thank you. Betty had a live. I'm surprised she even came and stayed as long as she did. She did a live earlier. If you do a live and then go to somebody else's live, Eddie does that. Eddie, I gotta admit, Eddie, he hustled. I thought I hustled when I was trying to get my watch hours and things like that. Eddie hustled. to get his watch hours. I mean, when I say hustled, he was on every day, all day to get those hours, and it paid off. You know, subscribers are growing, his watch hours are growing. He hustled. He hustled more Brooklyn style. He hustled. I thought I hustled a lot. No, sir. No, sir. Eddie was on in the morning. He was on afternoon. He was on evening time. I don't know when he slept. He's middle of the night, and he's still doing it. He's still out there hustling, but he has his hours now. He's monetized now. So, and we're not talking. You know, that the 503,000 watch monetized. We're talking he's, you know, like fully the 1,000, 4,000 watch hours, and I give it to him. He did it. He earned it. He earned it. It's penalized. I mean, again, don't. I mean, again, that's why I don't. I don't sweat it. Eventually, in due time, and we're talking years from now, and you're talking memberships, and you're talking, you know, we're getting people that want to come to your channel and you know, become your member and monthly. I mean, there's ways to do it, but again, that I think you get more from being sponsored. God, you know, God bless YouTube, but again, you know, they want their handout to take, you know, a third of what you make. So the other ways, there's sponsors and just different things. Eddie, you have your swag, so you have your merchandise. So that, I think that's a good way to do it also. And Charlene, I can't justify. I know I can't justify the price for a Disney cruise. I really can't. I want to badly, but I can't. And I can't even imagine taking a family. I mean, you're talking $7,000-8,000. It's tough. It's tough. But I would love to go on a Disney cruise, especially when they do like the Marvel shows and things. I would love to do it. And when you look at their restaurants and the way Disney, I mean, no matter what you say about Disney, how expensive it is, when they do something, they do it right. The restaurants, and this is going by looking at the vlogs that I've watched. They do it right. I mean, to the minute details of some of the things that they do, it's amazing. And you know, you'll find a lot of ships. Cruising Capers, thank you. I will see you. I will be over to your channel later on today. I appreciate you coming in here. And everybody, Cruising Capers, if you don't mind typing #strong again, so people can see your link to your channel, so they can come over and stop in and say hi and hopefully like your content. That would be great. I'm going to your channel right now, actually, Cruising Capers. And what I'm going to do is I put a video in my view to watch later. So that way I can get into make sure I don't forget to watch your videos. Edna's World, welcome in. Thanks for coming in, Edna. Eddie's live. He did. He was. I mean, he was up a lot later than I would ever be up. Well, I shouldn't say that, because I would be up when I was hustling for those hours. I was up middle of the night doing things. But 5.5 hours. I mean, they went on and on and on and talking. Edna World, we were talking about cruises. What's your next cruise, Edna's World? Edna is another person that would be fun when you start talking about cruising. And when I tell you about, like, it doesn't matter about the ship; it's about the people on board. Edna is one of those people that I would love to cruise with one day. One of these days, Eddie's going for the 11-hour record. Okay, Eddie, you can do it. One day we'll all get together and just stay online just all day long, and we'll take breaks where you can go. I know I saw some of the videos. Was that the Meta and I cruise you just got off of, or was that Life with V? The next one is in August. She's a cruiser, people. Which one are you going in August? And is it a group cruise, or is it it's probably a group cruise. There's so many group cruises out here. I need to do something. The Fat Last Story. Hey, Leanne, welcome in. I appreciate you stopping by. Okay, it was on. Then when you went on the Margarita, and okay, they brought the Margaritaville back. I don't think I've seen the one on Margaritaville. I heard you were going on it, but I didn't see you did a video on it. I know they shut them down for a while because a couple of vloggers talked about it, how poorly it was being kept up. And when you recently went on it, what did you think of it? Because I thought about that as a quick getaway. Margaritaville, for people who don't know, they do like a 2-day cruise out of like West Palm Beach. It's not like Tampa. It's like West Palm Beach area, and a cheap price. It's an older ship, and when I say old, I mean it's 30 years old. But a couple of vloggers went on and just talked about the poor condition of it. Oh, so okay, so it just came out today. Okay, so I'm gonna go look at that because I always wanted to go on that cruise ship. It's Margaritaville, which is from the name. For those who've gone to Margaritaville, it's Jimmy Buffett, Margaritaville. So I would like to see what it looks like. Again, the price was really cheap, so I wouldn't be expecting a whole lot. But again, give me a ship, give me the ocean, give me a drink. I think I'll be okay. M&T Living, welcome in. If I didn't say it, welcome in. I appreciate you coming in, saying hi. The Meta and I haven't checked out many of those videos either. I've seen a lot of pictures, like on I believe it was Instagram. A lot of pictures. A lot of people did some lives on Instagram, so I saw those. So I've taken off. I took off a few weeks, and I haven't been on YouTube. I'm just starting to come back now. I'm just starting to come back now. So I have so much catching up to do. It's not funny. Veronica's uploading vlogs too. Plus, you did a whole ship tour. Okay. Well, I'm real curious about the Margaritaville, because Margaritaville, it was kind of a ship that you could have just go down there for, a weekend. I mean, it's 2 days. Hey, cruising is fun anytime. Welcome in, Cheryl. I appreciate it. I was telling everybody in your show and Must Drill and Eddie and Z and all this morning, it made me start thinking about cruising. And I said I told people earlier I was starting to feel like you, because after watching all that, I started itching to book a cruise. So I started looking up cruises and finding one to book and things like that. So thank you guys. Thanks. You guys led me down this path. But Margaritaville, now, see, that's one. I'm sorry, and I'm skipping over something that I really want to do. I don't know if I can afford it this year. The Scarlet Lady in August. I would love to go on the Scarlet Lady. I would love to do it, and I'm gonna do it one of these days. One of these days. One of these days. That I'm sure that would be a fun cruise. The Scarlet, yeah. See, there's so many cruise ships and so little time. Well, so little money. I'm retired, so time is not of the essence. Margaritaville, Scarlet Lady. The Scarlet Lady. If you haven't, it looks like if you have an open mind and are outgoing, it would be a fantastic cruise. But if you have a shut mind and an introvert, it seemed like it would be a nightmare cruise. And I think I'm outgoing just enough that I would really enjoy myself on Scarlet Lady. Scarlet Lady is Virgin Voyages. For those that don't know, Virgin Voyages. They have a few. I don't know. Have they about 4 ships now? Hey, let me see. Controversial cruising. Hey, Bill. When I finally go live before I go on the Luminosa, I'd like to have you as one of my special guests. Sure. Tips for cruising the frozen tundra with Warmstrong Adventures. What do you think? Sounds perfect. Sounds perfect. Because I do love Alaska. I mean, again, as I said, Alaska is very expensive when it comes to like excursions, but the sights remind you of things from a movie. And the Alaska, because of the way it looks, makes me want to do Norway more, because when you look at Norway, it looks like Alaska on steroids. So yeah, I'd love to get out there and talk about cruising to Alaska. I've only been there twice, but again, it's one of my favorites. And Luminosa is not one of my favorite ships, but the itinerary made up for it. So anytime, just hit me up. I probably have, I don't know, in my about page, my email and all the other good stuff, or I'm on Instagram, Warmstrong Adventures on Instagram, and Facebook. I think it's Warmstrong Adventures. I think I don't do it much on Facebook. I'm trying to start doing it more. But yeah, just hit me up. That's anybody. If you ever want to talk, if you want to find out about a cruise, I've done my fair share of cruising. I've been on 43, 44 cruises. 41 of them have been Carnival. I always laugh. People always talk about like Carnival and becoming platinum and stuff like that. And I go, ew, platinum. What's platinum? Oh no, I'm diamond. The perks really aren't that much different. They really aren't that much different. The biggest thing about being platinum and a diamond on Carnival is the early boarding. And actually, the early boarding isn't necessarily true. You're able to book your boarding times earlier. And I'm gonna take a look at, maybe they actually did bring it back where I can go anytime, but I still have to book my boarding time. But we're able to diamond and platinum, I believe platinum. You're able to do it 2 days ahead of time. So I have a 2 day jump to book my boarding time. So I'm always able to get the whatever the very first one is, 10 o'clock, 10:30 in the morning. I'm always able to do that, and usually that's what I do is to get the earliest one. Tripping with Dre and Michelle, welcome in, my fellow Michiganders. Okay, yeah. So they all have that sweet guest. Okay. So yeah, I mean, again, I mean, and it's to me, it's not that that's a good thing. Um, it came in handy on the when I did those 22-day cruises or that 22-day cruise, and I did a back-to-back 29 days because I get free laundry and nothing special. It's just like wash and fold. But if you're only wearing like shorts and blue jeans and things like that, it's fine. T-shirts and sweatshirts. They have dry cleaning, but you could pay. Would have to pay for that. And the stuff that I have, I'm not worried about it being messed up. So, ladies, if you have like, fancy dresses with the little beads and stuff, all that, I don't know if I would trust that with them. But for what I do, and that way I don't have to overpack. Yeah. Um, the only thing is, most time, Scott, is because I've been to these ports a lot of times, even the ports where you have to, even the ports that where you have to tender in. I don't get off the ship early enough to even do that. I don't even worry about that really. But yes, you do get priority boarding on tender, so you can get off early, be one of the first ones off the cruise ship if you have to tender. Tender is when the ship can't pull into shore, and you have to take. Most of the time now they use their lifeboats. They use these little ships or little boats to take you from the ship to the island. That's what being a tender is. Scott, the complimentary drink. It's for Diamond. It's like a complimentary drink at brunch. So I have to start drinking when I'm doing my breakfast. It's like it's really a waste. But they do have like a complimentary. They have two. They have a diamond and platinum party, and then they have a diamond. They used to have a diamond brunch, but now it's more like a get together where you have free drinks and you have hors d'oeuvres. It used to be a meal. You used to sit down for free drinks and a meal, and now it's not. They don't do that anymore. Which why I don't know. Well, they do. They bring a lot of the staff down, so the captain to come down. If you're into those type of things of meeting the captain, I really don't. I say hi to the captain, but I really don't care to meet the captain. I'd rather have a nice lunch than meet the captain. But they changed it up. Um, you think it was worth it, huh? I mean, I guess, and maybe I'm taking it for granted because I'm always able because I mean basically I get that I have faster to the front. That's what the expedited boarding does. Um, I guess maybe if I had kids, I could see doing that because you don't want a kid standing in long lines. But if you like it, you like what you like. Last boat to the ship. Well, they don't do priority boarding coming back, but yeah, I never wait to the last ship. I always try to wherever I'm at. If being back on ship is at 4 o'clock, I'm back on ship by 3 o'clock. Usually, if it's at like Grand Turk where you walk to Margaritaville and then walk to the ship, I might stay a little bit longer. But usually I'm back, especially if it's a tender. I'm back early because first of all, I don't feel like waiting in line for a tender. Um, I don't know. I don't like being rushed. I don't want to be a peer runner. Right. I mean, again, it's God bless Carnival. They made it like it's like 10 o'clock in the morning with these hors d'oeuvres and all the free drinks you can have. It's 10 o'clock in the morning. You know, how many whiskey sours am I going to be drinking at 10 o'clock in the morning? How many rum punches am I going to be drinking at 10 o'clock in the morning? It kills the day. You know, when you start drinking that early in the morning, for me, and I know other people drink, but again, after I do that, I'm gonna head back to the room and lay down and take a nap. So yeah, I used to, you know, when they did the brunch or the lunch, it was, you know, 12, 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Okay, I can put away a few drinks. And then they start giving you all these beers and stuff to take with you. I can remember which ship was I on? I was on the Sunrise. I was on there with my daughter and them. And I went to the Diamond Platinum, no, Diamond Party. And I was the only one in there. So I had all these they had all these drinks and stuff and but they didn't it was not a meal. It was just like some hors d'oeuvres. So I had like this whole the crew, they were all there. As a matter of fact, they took a picture with me. Because I was only that was the first time I ever had that. Only one was there. Only one was there. And I started drinking it, but then I felt odd because I'm the only one out there pounding down drinks. So I felt kind of odd. Grabbed a couple of beers and left. What else? Any questions? Anything? Anybody want to know about Warmstrong Adventures? Anything? Any trips? I'm trying to think of any other good stories. I may wind up to Vegas. This it may I may wind up to Vegas sooner than later because I'm really feeling like going to Vegas. I haven't been to Vegas in 7 years maybe. It's been a long time since I've been to Vegas. I started cruising. Yeah. So they started up with those resort fees. See, Vegas, they take the fun out of going to Vegas. Oh, here's a free room. Well, but that'll be $59 resort fees. What's a resort fee? But that's why I stay downtown a lot of times. Well, even downtown now, I think they're starting to get resort fees. Just a way to make money. So that's what killed me from going to Vegas. I want to do Alcatraz, the night tour of Alcatraz, not just any tour. I want to do the night tour. But other than that, I don't see any questions. I appreciate all 12 of you being here. But I think I've been on over, it's an hour and 48 minutes. I can't believe I've been on this long. It's lunchtime. I don't know what I'm going to eat. Should I cook? Probably cook something small. I took pork chops out for dinner, so I'm going to make some pork chops for dinner. But anyway, lunch is going to be a mystery. We'll find out. Maybe some manwich. Manwich. Does anybody eat sloppy joes anymore? I like sloppy joes. I had some the other day. Somebody sent some sloppy joes here, and I had sloppy joes. I really enjoyed the sloppy joes. Anyway, I'm starting to ramble again. People, thank you for coming in. I appreciate you being here. Don't know when I'll be back on. If I do it, it'll be a pop-up. And I will talk to you guys later. Thanks again for being here. Bye-bye.